Now, as South Africans are confined to their homes and unable to travel, their annual leave is mounting up, and it's likely to emerge as the contentious issue and headache for corporate South Africa when the country eventually relaxes the lockdown regulations altogether. Now, according to a survey by Willis Towers Melanie Trollip, because little leave was taken by people during the lockdown, companies will soon have to work out a way to manage leave requests as well as the accumulation of unused leave days. As soon as the economy does reopen and travel restrictions are lifted, employees will no doubt be wanting to go on that big international holidays. But where does that leave the employer? We're joined now by Director of Talent and Reward at Willis Towers Melanie Trollip. Melanie, thanks very much for joining us on the AM Report. I think this is probably sort of a dream situation for employees who ordinarily would struggle perhaps, to accumulate that leave, get enough days accumulated to go on that big holiday. It's a good thing in a way for employees, but a massive headache for companies.
It absolutely is, and thanks for the opportunity to chat with you. Yes, the organizations have a major issue with this because the economy is opening and they want to get back to business and earning some revenue, and employees may want to take leave because during the April Easter season, which is the main holiday season, they weren't able to take some leave. Now, it's going to be a balancing act for organizations to manage this leave. Also, not just from a resourcing point of view, but also from a financial point of view. The additional leave that people accumulate is a liability on the balance sheet, and that is a major issue for organizations.
Yeah. So I'm sure that in the work that you do, you'll perhaps be advising companies on the best way to protect the rights of employees, but to also protect their own interests. What are some of the solutions that come to mind for you?
Okay, so what one must understand is that there is statutory leave and there is additional leave. Now, statutory leave, employees have to take that leave during the leave cycle. And employees and employers need to come to some kind of agreement as to when that leave will be taken. So that is a non-negotiable. Otherwise, they could forfeit some leave. And about a third of organizations have already ended their leave policies. Some have requested during the lockdown the staff who could not work from home to actually take that leave as a shutdown leave instead of where manufacturing concerns and the building industry normally have a close down during December. So it has been shifting, organizations have shifted the leave to a large degree, and others are going to negotiate with employees to either pay out the leave or companies may let them forfeit the leave if they cannot take it within the leave cycle.
And in terms of just how the corporate world no doubt will change post-lockdown, given that so many people have quite successfully worked from home over the past 3 months or so, how do you reckon that sort of new way of doing business will affect the leave situation? Might employees be getting less leave in the wake of more flexible hours?
It may. Like I said, a third of companies have already revised the leave policies. Another 25% are looking at revising their leave policies, especially because of this. And the return to work will be phased, so there will be more shift work and more flexi hours coming in. And my feeling is that the employees will typically take more long weekends and scatter the leave throughout the year rather than to have a single major holiday during the year.
Yeah. And just a final question, Melanie, as we wind down our discussion. If employers do decide to pay their employees out for accumulated leave, if they've accumulated a number of days over this leave cycle, is that a negative thing for companies to have to pay out for that number of work days? And I suppose if you multiply it by the number of employees?
It's not a negative thing, but it's certainly organization who has not earned revenue during the lockdown, the first 3 stages of lockdown, they're going to have some cash flow issues, and that will not be an option for them.
All right. Well, thanks very much for your insights on the story. If you've accumulated quite a lot of leave, let us know how your company might be dealing with that issue. That's Melanie Trollip. She's at Willis Towers Watson.